We're good. Give me 1 second. Okay, so we're good. There it goes. YouTube is good. We're streaming. Okay, let me let the rest of the people in. Ada says, seen some things on TikTok, but very wary to those. Michael says, eager to learn about the subcontracting model. Okay. Well, I'm here to tell you it's very real. It's very much so real. I did it for about 8 months hard before I got out of my car and I was like, I'm tired of driving. Prior to that, I was an independent contractor. I did Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, all those things for about 4 or 5 years. So I was ready to get out of the car. Happy you're live on this call. Is there a replay? I'm slow with notes sometime. Yes, it will be a replay that will be on YouTube. Purchased your course a couple weeks ago and trying to implement everything from it and try to obtain contracts. That is what's up, Gary. Gary is getting started now. So once challenge week hits, which is not tomorrow Monday, but the following Monday, you'll be able to take advantage of the information so you can implement everything. I've been a subcontractor for government on the IT side, now looking to be the prime. My Tika, that is so dope. So you've already got the experience. Now it's time for you to bid in your own business name, in your own business name. So does anyone in here already currently have an LLC? It's okay if you don't. If not, I'm going to give you some guidance on how to get that. It is not needed in order to start making money with your car. I tell everyone, it's highly suggested. It's because you can turn opportunities. There I go. You can turn smaller opportunities into larger ones just because there is a lot of opportunities out there, and some opportunities is only for people who have a current LLC, EIN, have their business entity, set up correctly. So even if you don't have one, Ada, Samantha, um, and everybody else who already have it, great job. Then we will talk about it in this class today on how to obtain your own. Just because I do believe that medical courier is a stepping stone. I do not believe that this is something that you're going to be doing for years and years. You're going to pass this down to your family, your kids. I mean, honestly, there's nothing to pass on if you're just driving all the time. You can't pass that down. But if we are building the business side, and that's why I say it's a stepping stone because we should be making money with this mini side business, mini side hustle as a medical courier. But the goal is for you all to start your business, getting business, contracts in your business name, hiring people. Even if you don't want to hire people, but you still want to take advantage, that is an option as well. Um, Now, on a scale of 1 to 10, how serious are you about changing your situation and being committed to this? How committed are you on a scale of 1 to 10? Uh, let me just go ahead and welcome YouTube, welcome Facebook. We're about to get started. If anyone cannot see my screen, you're going to have to join the Zoom. If you do not know where that is, if you go to my face, my link in my bio, then you'll be able to register for today's free class so you can grab the link. Who said 20? Gary said, who's that? I see a lot. That's Precious. Precious says on a scale of 1 to 10, you are locked in, you're on 28. Have a full-time job. Can I retire yet to get all my money? L'Oreal, Samantha says 13, Ebony's 10. All right, I see a lot of 10 plus in here. Awesome. So you all will do great. especially if you keep this same energy consistently and implement everything. So if you're ready, go ahead and comment ready so we can go ahead and get started. Let me go ahead and share my screen. Let's present here. Got that. Let's go back to here where we're at right there. Okay, if you can see my screen, can I get a one in the chat, please? Can I get a one in the chat? I think we're good. I think we're good. All right, I see the ones. All right, so you can see my screen. All righty, so welcome everyone to my free medical courier masterclass, where you're going to be learning how to launch, grow, and lock in 4 and 5 figure medical courier contracts. I am your host, Alila Brown. I do go by Lila the Entrepreneur. If you don't know, me and my husband invest in multiple businesses, not just this business, but today we're going to be focusing on the medical courier. I have made multiple six figures in this industry, and I want to share with you all how you can do the same in 2026. So go ahead and drop in the comments where you're located, what city and state, where is everyone located at? If you didn't know, I'm in Southern California. I am in Riverside to be exact. I'm about an hour away from LA. Ada is from Mobile, Alabama. Tracy's from Dallas, Texas. Where we got Kenyatta from Cary, North Carolina. Precious is from Alabama. We got Stan from Dallas. Dope. Gary is in Los Angeles. Hey, neighbor. We have Samson in Houston. All right, wonderful. We have everyone from all over. And I'm here to share with you all that it does not matter where you're located at. You can get started. You can get started. Now, will there be some instances that you are going to have to go outside of your backyard, meaning like maybe having to go to the next city or the next county in order to find work? But there is opportunity. Even for me, I was traveling into LA and I'm in Riverside in order to make that money. So, let's get into a couple of housekeeping rules before we get started. So, just as a disclaimer, I am the only Leela_Brown on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Pinterest. So, if you see someone posing as me using my picture and my content, and they are not Leela_Brown everywhere on that page, please report them and block them. I have a lot of pages out there that will go into your DMs, into your inbox, and pose as me. So please know that I'm not going to ask you for your Cash App, give you financial literacy, anything like that. That is not me. Second thing, that this is not a get rich quick scheme. I need you all to know that it's because this is not going to be the class for you if you believe that you are just going to receive these contracts without putting in any effort. It requires consistency and commitment. Normally, in the beginning of the class, I like to know where everyone is at. Are you in a committed state of mind or are you interested? Go ahead and put that in the chat. I ask that is because so many people will be in my inbox and my DMs. It's like, oh, I'm interested. And in reality, being interested is dope. It is wonderful. But know that that is where this business or anything that you do is going to remain. It's going to remain exactly there. In order for you to see results, whether it's this or something else, you have to be committed. So for anyone that might be in an interested state of mind, please stay to the end of class because my goal is to take you to a committed state of mind. Precious is totally invested and committed. Wonderful. Now, this class will be about 60 to 90 minutes long. So please make sure that you are focused, that you're tuned in, and that you bring a pen and paper and cancel out all the distractions. And then last but not least, if you have anyone that you know that needs to change their situation, that needs to make some extra money, please share this with two friends and family. I put it in the chat that can benefit from this. And then if you want to be able to rewatch this, this will be uploaded to my YouTube channel. So you'll be able to go back and look at and rewatch anything, catch anything that you might have missed. Now, before I teach you the method, I want to share with you some proof. I want to share with you, it's not just me saying it. I have mentored thousands of people, and I want to share with you some of their results just to kind of give you some motivation, some insight to let you know that this is real. And also, if you have questions, please put them in the comments box. I see it, Samson. As we're going, I will be answering questions. If I did miss questions, please forgive me. At the end, I will have a question and answer section to where you'll be able to ask me anything, and I will not get off until all the questions are answered. So put it in the chat, and if I don't answer it, we'll tackle it at the end. Now we have Maureen. Maureen, she has landed her first contract. I'm so proud of her. It's because her first contract, over $1,800 a week off of one contract. If you know me, you know that I am all about stacking your contracts. We're not making our three, four, 500 a day. We're not making our five, $10,000 a month off of one contract. I like to stack. But when we have a contract this large, then you are going to be guaranteed that, close to 8 to 10,000 a month, especially if you just add one or two more routes to this. But Maureen has started with her car. She's driving with her car. Now remember, well, I didn't say this, I'm telling you, remember. There is levels to this. You can start with your car. You can start with a van, a box truck, or you can say, hey, I don't even want to start there. I can start with government contracting. And that is what Christina did. Christina said, I don't want to be delivering with my car. She wanted to go straight into the business side. And she, within 3 months, landed just under 50 government medical supply contracts. This is so dope, is because she really locked in. She was bidding every single week. And I tell people, no matter if you're getting contracts with your car or in your business name, if you're not bidding, you are not winning. Simple as that. You have to bid, you have to apply, you have to get in front of as many individuals, companies that you are trying to get contracts for, so you can let them know that, hey, I'm available and this is what I want. Then we have Jim right here. Jim said, I don't want to do this full time. I don't want to quit my day job. He works three very part-time days and makes anywhere from $500 to $700 a week. He still has a full-time job. Who in here can use an extra $2,000 to almost $3,000 a month in addition to what they already are doing? Now, my goal for you all today is to teach you how to turn 2 to 3 medical certifications into your own profitable medical courier lab business and scale it to 100K plus per year. The greatest thing about it is that you will not have to wait long to see results. I seen my first contract within 7 days of implementing what I'm going to tell you all what I did. The other thing is that you do not need a lot of startup money. And in some situations, you don't need any money to start up, is because you just need a car, you need your smartphone, and then your personal car full coverage insurance. And you do not need a medical degree. No going to school for a long time. Get you a couple of certifications you can get in one day and apply within 60 minutes per day. For 60 minutes per day, you can land your first or your next contract. So the strategies and methods and techniques that I'm about to share with you are the exact same strategies that I personally used to grow my medical courier business to multiple six figures within 1 year. Now, before we get into it, I want to differentiate the type of contracts that are out there. So Derek right here, he secured himself 2 on-demand contracts and is working on his third. Well, what is on-demand contracts? So on-demand contracts means that they can call you or you can call them for these routes. And then you can negotiate what it is that you want to get paid. That means that if a company is saying, hey, this route pays $200 a day and it goes this many miles, you can then counter it and say, hey, I would rather have $300 a day. And granted, you're going to go in back and forth into like a bidding war. But the thing is that I'm able to negotiate my contracts. And if I don't like what I'm hearing and I don't get what I want, then I can walk away. So that is on demand contracts. Then you can go ahead and get a contract like Tanya did. She started off with her car and then she invested in a cargo van and now she's partnering with different medical courier companies that already have the work. So she can either be a subcontractor, or she can sit there and work for them as a W-2 worker hourly plus gas mileage reimbursement. So I'm sharing with this with you all in the beginning so you can kind of figure out what it is that you want to go after. Me personally, I went after everything, and once I found about on demand, I focus on demand contracts because I am a serial entrepreneur. So we have an event space studio. And when events come in, I want to be able to put my medical courier routes down and focus on my event studio. So that's why I want it on demand because it worked like for me. It does not mean that you should only focus on demand. If you're looking for something more full time, then go for a full time route. And if you stick with me to the end of the class today, I will share with you how you can further this, how you can go further and farther along. So, why should you start? Why should you start the medical courier side business or turn it into a main business? Well, I believe of sharing a little bit of statistics and numbers to let you know it's not just me and it's not just where I'm located at, it's all over the USA. Now, as you can see right here, there's different color codes that you see right here and different numbers up top. Well, the numbers is 5.9 and all of this stands for billions. Billions, not millions. That means in 2023, the medical courier market had over 5.9 bill have made over 5.9 billion dollars within this industry. And it is set to almost double by 2033. Now, each of these stand for something. Now, a lot of people will hear me say medical courier, go drive as for a medical courier, but there is different things that you can deliver within the medical courier umbrella. So if you can see right here, we have medical supplies, we have lab specimens, and those were the top two items that I would deliver as a medical courier. Then you also can be delivering, transporting x-rays, prescription drugs, blood and organs, and medical notes. Remember, I started this during the pandemic, and that was a big thing for me is because I wanted to only invest in things, opportunities and businesses that would withstand that current pandemic or another one. And as you can see, the need is going to stay rising and scaling within the medical courier and the transportation industry. I always say that this is one of the most beginner friendly businesses or just side hustle that you can make an extra bit of cash because I've tried them all. I've done drop shipping, I've done Amazon, FBA, affiliate marketing, trading, real estate. And I'm not saying that this does not work because I've had success in all of these areas. But I have to put emphasis on how easy it was for me to get started. And I did not need investment, I didn't need schooling. I didn't need none of that. And I was going hard. But anyways, so you're probably thinking, who the heck is this Leela Brown girl and why should you listen? And that is a really great question. But I want to share a quick story on who it is that I am and what it is that I do and how did I get to this point. So my backstory is I had entrepreneur family. My mom and dad were bakery owners. They had created their own school. They had a jazz lounge. They had a books, herbs, and things. So a lot of people will ask me, where do I get my drive? You know, I do have mentors, but I do believe my mom and my dad was my first mentor. So I did like what most adults beginner adults did when they moved out of their parents' home. I went to college. I wanted to explore the world. I was homeschooled. If you did not know, K through 12, I was homeschooled. I did not see an actual school, um, just a school setting wasn't until I got to college. But I was a go-getter. I was a grinder. I got it from my parents. So one of the first businesses that I started on the side, which was Sister Shabazz Pastries. So I took everything the knowledge that I had learned from, baking and everything and running a business. And I started my first mobile catering business. And I was set up at farmers markets, at pop-ups. If you're in LA, I was even in the Leimert Park area every Sunday, selling my pies, cakes, and cookies. So I was actually doing for self, something that my mom and dad really instilled in me. Several years later, I wind up dropping out of college. I was a nursing school major and I wind up getting married. Bills were, piling up and I had to go back into the workforce. And I never really left the workforce. I always had something on the side in addition to working. So I was working at Amazon. It was a lot. Just being newly married, trying to make it work, trying to figure out what businesses was going to take off or whatnot. And in 2018, that's when my life changed. I lost my father. We buried my father in 2018 of May. And I know a lot of people will say tomorrow's not promised. And for me, I was able to actually live that. And it just like it got to me is because so many people waste time and they don't use their time wisely. So when my father passed, I was just like, you have to stop procrastinating. You have to lock in, and that's what I did. I locked in. There was a light that or fire, I would say, that was under me to where I just said I wanted to go all in and I didn't want to have any um I didn't want to go to the wishing well, put it like that. So I told myself the next year I was going to invest in new mentorship. I went to YouTube University. That is when I started trading. I started drop shipping. I even started my own vending machine business, and it was cool. It was profitable, but I wanted something a little bit more. So I wound up selling all of my locations and what was like an issue for me is because I was trying to do the whole online and passive income and it just wasn't clicking right. I didn't have a lot of money. So, in light of everyone that was trying to make money selling a viral product online, I was more focused on how can I make a lot of money in person, in person. So that is when I stumbled across the medical courier industry. I was on a free class, something like what you all are in. And I took the information and I took everything that I had learned from my parents, from other mentorships that I had received, and I just locked in. The greatest thing about it is that I had already knew that I had a car, I had my smartphone, and I had insurance. So I was like, that's all I needed. Everything else, I all I had to do was apply for everything. Now, I was skeptical. I gotta keep it 100. Just like I believe Ada was like, I've seen some stuff, but I'm skeptical. But at the same time, I told myself I was gonna get out of my own way. Do not make decisions based off of, I wanted to only make decisions based off of facts. So that is when I locked in. And then 3 weeks later, I was making 5K a month, delivering medical specimens and medical supplies. All I was doing was going into these hospitals and picking up these blue and green bags, as you see right here, these blue and green bags, and then just deliver it to a said location. Sometimes they will give me things like here, what you see right here, this bag. Sometimes they'll give me that. That was like medical supplies, but that is all that I did. It was no special skills, no special connections. And again, I didn't even need to live in a popular area because I was already in the driving game doing Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, Instacart. So I knew that all I had to drive was make money. I just needed the right avenue. Because remember, this is during the pandemic. Uber was slowing down, Lyft was slowing down, and because of COVID and everything, even medical courier rised. And so after doing that the first month, I'll make my quick $5,000 because I started like in the middle of the month. Then the second month, I was making over 8K plus per month. I was reinvesting everything for the most part into my current business. Now, remember, I told you me and my husband had invested in an event space studio. Well, we invested during the pandemic. I know you're probably like, you invested in a business in the pandemic? Yes. And we took the money that we were making from the medical courier to invest in tables, chairs. This is our event studio: tables, chairs, pipe and draping, what else? Everything that we needed to make sure that when we get clients to come in to throw their events, that we had everything. And remember, I told you I had got uncomfortable when my father passed. I was like, I'm doing everything that I'm scared of. If I say I'm going to do it and I commit myself, then I'm just going to do it and I'm not going to stop. So I was introduced to Eric Coffey. He is about 20 plus years in the government contracting industry. And he kind of like took me under his wing, started teaching me. I started doing um, speaking engagements. I was over here with the Stand Store. I did the Circle of Greatness with Nehemiah Davis. I was just all in. And that is what I want you all to do. Now, I have to put this disclaimer out. Now, it works for tons of everyday people, but it is no guarantee that it'll work for you. Now, before you come at me, I have to put this disclaimer out, and I've recently added this to my classes, is because I don't know your hustle. I don't know your hustle. I don't know if it's like mine's. I don't know if it's more than mine's or if it's less. If it's less, then you probably won't get the results because I was committed. Every day I showed up for my business. Every day I did something for it. Every day I was putting myself in front of these companies to say, hey, I need and wanted the opportunity. Now, if you do everything I tell you to do in this class, you will see results. I did a class last Sunday. Within the week, I had 3 people landed their first contract. So I know this is very much so doable for everyone in this class right now. Now, this is one of the money making methods that I do suggest to all my friends and family, including my husband. So, if you didn't know, my husband started working with me. No, you do not need a partner, but we started driving together. At one point, he was working for Walmart Distribution Center. He was working overnight. He did not care to be overnight like that. So then when I started making my money and he seen I made 5,000 the first month, he was like, "What are you doing again?" So I wind up getting him hired with me and we would run routes together. There are times that, instead of me doing it by myself, running an 8 hour route or 6 to 8 hour route, we were able to do 12, 14, sometimes 16 hours a day driving together because we would tag team. He would drive in the morning or vice versa, and then I'll drive in the evening or vice versa. Whoever is not driving, that is the person that goes and find other routes on the phone for other apps, and we'll get into that later. But all I'm saying is that you can do this with a partner or you can do it by yourself. Either way, you can make money. So you're probably like, okay, Leela, how does this work? So let's break this down step by step. Before I break it down, I want you to understand, do not overcomplicate this. This is one of the easiest, simplest things that you can do. Once you master this, if you do decide to go to the business side, it'll make that so much easier because you've already been doing the things that I'm going to share with you that you're doing for getting contracts with your car that you can do to get contracts in your business name. So please don't overcomplicate it. So I have a step by step, a 3 step formula that I have created and I give to my students and you all on how to do the exact same thing that I did, how to make 5,000, 6,000, 8,000, 10K plus a month. So the step number one is going to be find your contract. You need to know where you're going to be locating these contracts. So there's levels to it. We're going to start with the beginner level. The beginner level is I tell everyone you want a source or a website that has lots of different opportunities that feeds to you. And they are one being Indeed.com, excuse me, two is ZipRecruiter.com, Three is the CLDA.org. Four is going to be driver talk or CB driver. C as in cat, B as in boy. And then the fifth one is going to be good old Google. You don't need to pay for any of this, but you do need to give your time. So now that you know the sites that has these opportunities, the next step is you need to update your resume. Although you do not need experience, I tell everyone, please put something on your resumes because it is saturated out here. It's not to where you cannot get a contract, but these are things that you should be doing in order to make sure that you get a contract faster. And this is what I did. So although medical courier you do not need experience. I put my Uber, my Lyft, my DoorDash, anything that I did already with the independent contracting or courier. Now, how many in the room feels like, oh, I don't even have that? Put me in the chat. How many people in the chat feels like, oh, I don't even have Uber, Lyft, I don't have DoorDash, none of that. And that's fine. I see you, Ada. I see Tiffany. I see Samantha. I see Precious. So if you don't have experience, I'm here to tell you all you do. Whether you get paid for it or not, that's another subject. But you do. How many people in here have went and delivered food for your significant other, for your kids, for your family, for your mom, your dad? How many people in here needed to take or have taken their child to the doctor, their grandma or grandpa to the doctor, their mom and dad to the doctor? How many people? I should see a bunch of more me's. Then we're going to use that and put that on our resume. So let's do something live right now. We're going to use ChatGPT. We're going to use ChatGPT to help us formulate the words that we need in order to post this, to update our resume. So we're going to tell Chat and saying, hey, I want a medical courier position and I need to update my resume. I have experience delivering food, medical, hold on, prescriptions. I have delivered, no, for that, picked up and dropped off um, patients to medical facilities. Keep in mind, I'm spelling stuff real wrong and I'm going real fast. And I have great customer service. Mind you, you can go the free route on ChatGPT. Only time I tell you to pay for the paid ChatGPT, which is $20 a month, and I do pay for it, is when we go on the business side and we start writing our own business proposals and stuff. But for right now, it now gave me a professional summary, reliable, detail-oriented, deliver professional with hands-on experience transporting food, medical prescriptions, and patients to healthcare facilities. Now, this is what you did. You know, we didn't say that you got paid for it, but this is your experience. I don't care if you didn't get paid for it. I'm gonna say that you're an intern for your own family. But either way, we just gotta make sure that we can verbalize it correctly on our resume. Here are some core skills: medical prescription delivery, patient transportation, and then when it comes time for us to write in exactly what we did at that job, I just tell everyone take 2 to 3. Take 2 to 3 lines. Do not go in here and fill your resume up with all these different things you did with that one job. And then again, do not change your resume to reflect a full medical career resume. You do not need to do that. Take it from me. All I tell everyone is update your current resume with some medical career experience or your previous job that you had. So it's either your current job or your previous job with medical career and career experience. Take 2 to 3. And in some instances, if you are applying with an in particular company and they tell you this is what you need to do, take a line or two and put that into your resume just so in case they're using AI, which a lot of companies is, that they can automatically pull your resume because a lot of time if it's not keyword triggered using the job application that they've posted, then you will not get pulled. That has happened to a couple of my students, and I tell them just revamp that resume for that job. If anything, I like to have several different resumes, and slightly they're all the same, but just slightly different with some keywords so you can get pulled. So this is what I would do for my resume. Use ChatGPT, update what you already have, and then you're going to input it into Indeed, ZipRecruiter. So when it comes time for you to apply, it's only going to take you a handful of seconds for you to go through the sections, press enter, and submit, and then boom, you've applied. So easy. I can apply for, and we're going to do some actual examples. I can apply within less than a minute, 60 seconds. Now, the next step is you need to get certified. You need to get certified. You need to have your HIPAA and bloodborne pathogen. Now, that's like the base. Now, there will be contracts and opportunities that they're going to be like, hey, I need your TWIC. I need you to have a TWIC card. I need you to have a TSA. And that is dependent on the contract. I do not put that in here as a list of things that you should go be getting right now. No. Again, I like to focus on what is needed. Almost every contract, they're going to require a HIPAA and a bloodborne pathogen. Remind me at the end, I'll give you all a certification checklist so you can be able to know where to go get these certifications yourself. Keep in mind, too, some companies will not charge you and they will pay you. Hear me out. So when I used to work for Crosstown, when it came time for me to get my HIPAA and bloodborne pathogen, I went through them. They paid me to take the certification. I know that sounds weird, but they paid me to take the certification. And within a couple of hours, I went through and I was HIPAA and bloodborne pathogen certified. Then I was able to start working for them the next week. I understand that's not going to be every person's situation, but just keep in mind if you do not have the certifications, ask companies that you are researching and applying and say, hey, do you pay for that certification on my behalf? If they say no, remember it's only 40 bucks, if that, to get these certifications. The next thing you need to do is you need to know your keywords. You need to know what keywords that you're going to be searching for: medical courier, courier, independent contracting, 1099, delivery, car. If you have a van, put that in the keywords. Is because you just want to make sure that you know where to find these leads. So let's do some actual live examples. So in the chat, put your city in the state. Put your city in the state so I can use one of the cities in the states and we can do some live examples. Live examples. Albertson, Ontario, Cali. Whoop whoop. Hey neighbor. Okay. So let's go to Indeed. Let's go to Indeed. So let's do I got a lot of people in my city out here. All right, let's do my city. Let's do Los Angeles, California. I'll do a couple of more, but let's do Los Angeles, California. So before we do that, we need to get our keywords. So our first keyword is medical courier. All right, medical courier. Let me go back here because I have a pro tip for you. One pro tip is you need to open up your mileage to 100. 100. Now, let's say I were to do my area, which is Riverside. I most definitely is going to open my mileage to 100 because as you can see right here, 35 miles. Why I want 100 is because, mind you, I was Ubering, lifting, DoorDashing, doing all that stuff. And I knew that a lot of times the opportunity, at least to make a lot of money, was not in Riverside County. It was in Los Angeles County. It was in Orange County. It was in San Diego. This is about a 100-mile radius from me. So I tell everyone, open up your mileage so you can be able to see the opportunity. Why? The more opportunity that you have, the more money you can make because you can be picking and choosing. If you just only have one, then you just gonna go with that one and you don't know if it's good or bad. Well, you kind of know if it's good or bad, but just know that it can get better once you keep applying, but you open up that mileage. So let's open up this up to 100. We went, well, Los Angeles is a popping area, so this won't change much, but like let's just say I put in Riverside. If I put in Riverside, it's 75. If I open up to 100 miles, it's going to go to 100 plus. And so therefore, I'm going to open up to 100 miles always, no matter if I'm in a big city or a small city. So make sure you open up the miles. The other thing I want you to do is I want you to apply for everything. I don't want you in here talking about it don't pay right. Apply for everything. It's because that is where I found my on demand contract is because I was applying for an hourly position. And when it came time for me to interview, I asked them like, "Hey, I actually want on demand. I'll take hourly." And that's how I was able to land. So do not go in here and saying I don't like the pay. I don't like, just go ahead and apply and let them tell you. After that, then you can say kick rocks, but don't disqualify yourself in the beginning. You're going to apply for everything on every page, and then you're going to move on to the next page. So this is 5+ pages. Apply for everything. Now, mind you, everything I'm telling you to do, you're going to do on each website that has medical courier opportunities. So if I'm telling you to go through medical courier keyword, Riverside, California, with 100 miles, you're going to do the exact same thing on ZipRecruiter, the exact same thing on the CLDA, the exact same thing on CB Driver, the exact same thing on Google. We are not sitting here just doing one thing. You have to do a lot of the things in order to get 1 or 2 contracts a week. How I know? Because that's how I was able to land. I had got so consistent that every single week I was doing interviews. Every single week is because I was putting in so much work the week before. All right. So open the mileage up. And what we're going to do, apply, apply, apply. When are you going to start looking? You should be looking right now, tonight, um, maybe tomorrow, but I don't want to hear next week. If this is what you want, good opportunities do not stick around. The good ones, yeah, they just don't stick around. Another thing is a lot of the hiring managers is going to be looking at applications Sunday nights and Mondays. So I like to make sure that I'm in front of the hiring manager. I don't want to be in the back. So therefore, I'm going to do a lot of my applying. Not saying I'm not going to apply Monday through Saturday, or Tuesday through Saturday. I'm just going to do a little bit more on my Sundays and my Mondays. All right, step 2. You need to land the contract. How are you going to land the contract? You're going to land it by applying, applying, applying. This is one of the most easiest and hardest things for people. It's because you're applying and you're not getting any results just yet. And hear me out. I need you to have faith and have consistency. Every single day, 25 to 40 positions a day you should be applying for. I had got to the point that I was applying for 50 a day. I'm not going to tell you to apply for 50, but if you want to see results like I did, 50 a day, every single day. Now remember, Indeed, ZipRecruiter, you're going to be applying for those different sites. Now, when it comes to Google, you want to use Google to find partnering companies. A lot of companies are not going to be on these websites like Indeed or ZipRecruiter saying, hey, we need to hire someone. A lot of times they are hiring, but they're not posting on them sites. So this is why I tell you all to look for partnering companies. These are some of my top 5 partnering companies that is pretty much nationwide, meaning no matter where you're at, Dallas, Atlanta, it does not matter, then you should be able to find a company on this list that actually has opportunities. Now, remember, partnering companies already have the contract. They are a business that have medical courier and courier contracts. What they're looking for is you and I that have vehicles, vans, cars, box trucks, whatever it is. So now you can partner with them and do these routes. Crosstown Courier is at the top of my list. It's because that is the company that I used to work for. Remember, Crosstown has a few different websites, but they are located all over the USA. So do not feel like, oh, I didn't find one in my area. Crosstown is done with. No, they have three locations: East Coast, West Coast, and like Midwest. And let me show you. So if I put in Crosstown Courier in the Google, look right here. I put Crosstown Courier. We have Go Crosstown. Then we have Crosstown Couriers. And then we have Crosstown Courier Service. These are all different for it just depends on the location. Because remember, I'm in Southern California. They have a location for out here. They have one for the Florida, and Georgia area. They even have some for like the Utah area. And if you did not know, a lot of our partnering companies are getting government contracts. Crosstown is one of them. So you want to make sure that you are reaching out to these companies, even if they say, no, I don't have any work, at least every 2 or 3 weeks, because they are constantly getting contracts. And that means they're hiring, they're firing, and people are leaving. You just don't know. So you want to make sure that every 2 to 3 weeks, you're circling around with these companies and saying, hey, remember me? You want to make sure that you stay on their mind. Everybody knows, at least my circle knows, I will bug the hell out of you until you give me a contract. I want them to know who Lee LeBron is. I'm always at the tip of their tongue, is because when a contract hits, they're gonna be like, she hungry. She's hungry. And that's what you need to be. All right, let's get back into it. All you need to do is find one contract just to get started. You can always add multiple ones. Do not, and I mean this, do not stop at the first contract that you've won. I'll repeat it. Do not stop at the first contract or route that you won, because you never know what's better if you keep looking. Crosstown was one of the best contracts I had, and they were paying me three, four, sometimes $500 a day. Now, mind you, I was stacking on top of there. But Crosstown, I didn't get Crosstown till about 3.5, almost 4 weeks into my journey. So the first week I got my first contract was like on the seventh day, seventh or eighth day. It sucked. It was crap. And then I got my next one. That one sucked too. Then I got another one. I was like, this is okay. And mind you, it could pay the bills. It could invest in what I needed to invest into my business. But mind you, I was trying to get the biggest, the best contracts out there. And if I would have stopped at the first contract paying $15 an hour, I wouldn't even be having this class right here with you all. But I did not stop. So I want you all to do the same thing. I don't care if you say, hey, I got a first contract. You're just starting. Continue. Because at any given time, you might say, I don't want to work for them no more. They don't pay me enough. I found somewhere else that pays me better. Do that, because it is about you. All these companies, they will sit there and fire you. They don't care about you. So therefore, why are you putting them at the top? No, I am making them work for me and making sure it works for me and only me. Now, I'm not saying don't do a good job. I'm not saying don't be on time, because we don't want to get you fired. I always do the best. But when it comes time for me to prioritize what's best for me and saying I need to move on, I'm going to move on. And don't tell them their business. I had a student was like, well, they're asking me, do you have any other routes? It's a no. That is none of their business. As long as I can do the job right and I'm on time, that is all they need to know. So keep that in mind. The last step to this is going to be stacking and repeating. We talked about that just a little bit. But how are you going to stack? How are you going to find more routes, more different opportunities? Now, we talked about, the five apps, the five sites that we use: Indeed, ZipRecruiter, CLDA, CB Driver, and Google. That is fine. That is where you're finding your main medical courier and courier routes. But we also need to know, what can we add to stack on top? And this is why I tell everyone to leverage apps. So instead of, we're going to be using DoorDash, Uber Eats, Instacart. Well, I still like Instacart. Instacart is still good with me. But instead of just using those type of apps, there is other apps out there for us to be able to leverage in order to stack with whatever else we have as our main route, our main medical courier route. Now, I want you to screenshot and or write them down. It's probably best if you screenshot this. These are apps and opportunities that you should be applying. Remember, you're not going to go to the App Store and download them. Some of them you might have to, but most of them is going to require you to put the name into Google, apply on their website, and then they will, once you're hired, will onboard you onto an app. That's what I had. Like, for example, Crosstown, they had an app. And I didn't know that in the beginning, but they I was hired and then I was able to get on the app and then I can sit there and pick up routes. Oh, then also they would give me the route as well on what I had to run. So just keep that in mind. A lot of the apps you're going to apply on a website first, and then you'll go ahead and get the app later on. Now, some people will tell me it's saturated. It's on a wait list, and I understand that. So I'm gonna tell you two things. The first thing is do not just wait on the wait list, twiddling your thumbs, waiting for them to hit you up. You need to call them. You need to email them. You need to ask them, hey, is there any opportunity? Is there any availability for me to come off of the wait list and be a part of your routes or whatnot? You should be always doing that with any contract. I don't care if it's ZipRecruiter, if it's the CLDA, you should always be applying, calling, and emailing individuals. But right now, for the apps and we're getting off the wait list, I need you to call and email them. I need you to bug them. I want them to be like, stop calling me. I'll let you know. And even then, I'm gonna call you some more until you either block me or give me what I want, which is a route. Give me on these apps. So while you're doing that, I want you to also look and leverage other apps that are not technically medical courier or courier. So there are apps for field inspection agents. You do not need any experience. You don't even need any licenses or anything. All you're doing is going into these houses or different properties, different buildings, or whatnot, and you're taking pictures. That is it. You're taking pictures of the building, the landscaping, and then you're uploading it into the app. These are some field inspection agent apps. I shared this with you all is because some of these, if not all of them, don't have wait lists. So you want to make sure, remember I told you in the beginning, you want to do a lot of everything. There's not one thing that I did that worked. No, I did everything. And if someone else told me to add it, another thing, I did that. It's because my goal is I wanted to do a lot in a short amount of time so I can get a lot of opportunities and then I can choose. I can choose. So this is how I turn a bag into multiple bags by stacking. This is how I was turning a $200 or $300 day to a $500 to $600 day, and I had medical courier routes, plus I had apps. My suggestion is at least one to two main medical courier and courier routes, and then two to three apps on the side. It's because you want to have opportunities out there. You don't just have one app. Because what if you turn on that app and it's during a downtime and you're like, well, I'm ready to make money? Then that's when you come in with the other apps to see if there's any opportunity for that time because all apps are going to be different. Now, one app is going to be made the exact same. And then also study your apps. Study when they are going to be dropping these batches. I'm going to give you an example. When I used to do Instacart, I used to start between 8 a.m. and 10 a.m. Not because I had to. That's just what I wanted to. I didn't want to wake up early. I was like, I'm going to do this on my own time. And yes, I used to make $200 to $300 a day, starting off at 8 a.m. and 10 a.m. Then I bumped into someone and I was, I think I was in, I think Aldi, and it was between my start time. And it was this one girl telling me about how much money that she had already made, and it was like 10 a.m. She was like, I'm already at $200. I'm like, how you at $200? She was like, because Costco drops on Instacart at 6 o'clock in the morning. And I was like, what? We can go in at 6 o'clock? And so from that day forward, I studied my app. I seen that first one drop at 6 o'clock, and I didn't even touch any of the routes. I seen $30, $40. And I was like, but oh, girl told me she just made $100 off of one delivery. And I waited around. I seen 615, 630. It was like $60, $80, $100. I know that's hard nowadays because we're not in a pandemic. But only thing I want you to take from this is to learn your apps. You never know what's going to drop if you're not looking. All right. Now, again, I teach my students to do the same thing. D, she is making over 2,500 off of three contracts because she stacks. She stacks. So the name of the game is to stack and keep on stacking. Now, I want to ask the chat, how much money do you want to make a day? How much money you want to make a day? How much money you want to make a month? Are we trying to make, $300 days, $500 days? If you're trying to be part-time, you just want to make a couple of hundred. What is your goal? Put it in the chat. The reason being is because you don't know how to get to your goals if you don't know what it is that you want to make per month, and then you're going to reverse engineer it and see what that comes out to on a daily basis. People tell me you don't make $8,000 a month, $10,000 a month from driving as a medical courier. And I was like, who you telling? Yes, I can. It's because the first thing I do is I'll say, if I want to make $8,000 a month, I'm going to say how much I want to make per day, excuse me, per month, and then I do the math to see what is that per day. Now I know how I can strategize my day. Now I know that, oh, I need to keep these apps going because I have not made my goal. Because a lot of people just do this blindly, and then they may make a couple of hundred in a day and be like, I need to make more. But I'm like, but your goal is $5,000 a month. And $5,000 per month right here is only $250 a day. When I was doing $500 to $600 a day, I was averaging 10K per month. This is why I tell everyone, you want to know what it is that you want to make per day, and then see what that is per, excuse me, what you want to make per month. Sorry. And then what that is per day. Laura is $1,000 per week. So that means that she needs to make what? $200 per day. All she needs is $200 a day. That could be one route and one app to achieve that. So once you know what it is that you want to make, then you can clear out and have a clear strategy on what you need to do every single day and commit. Now, I have another option. I have another option now. What we just talked about is what I've done, and plenty of my students has came in, whether they came in for the free class or where they did a paid class with me. But this is how you make money with your car, with your vehicle and in your name. That means you're not getting contracts in your business name. You are 9 times out of 10 using your social or your independent contractor. What we're about to talk about is other high-paying medical courier, and supply contracts. And these contracts are with private or government entities. Now, remember Crosstown that I was telling you about? Well, I have some more statistics for you. And they are, let me see. So there's a site called the fpds.org. Here, I'll put it in the chat. And this is a government site that shows bids that are, hold on one second. Let me just move this. This is a site that shows federal contracts that have won, for what amount, for what it is, the time frame, the end date, the start date. It is a great information site. Now, I'm gonna give you this too. You can turn around here and look up, like, so you can look up medical courier as the title, medical supplies as a title, or you can just go straight to a company name that you may have. So I can come in here and put in medical courier and see contracts what has won under that medical courier next code, excuse me, title. Now, mind you, you see right here, this is April 13th, 2020, 2013, 2012. The first thing you need to do when you're on this site is you need to go to the right-hand side and hit right here that says date sign. Date sign is going to bring up everything from today's date on back. And that means whoever won from today on back. So with medical courier as a keyword, let's start looking at contracts. Look at this. Crosstown, the company I used to work for, $45,000 contract they won not even a week ago. Not even a week ago. This is another company. Whatever that name is. January 23rd, 51,000. Quest, 57,000. Now, what can you do that can help you right now? So, mind you, this is mind you what we just talked about is our stepping stone, making money with our car. This should be what you should be working towards, getting contracts in your business name like these companies. But what if you're not just ready for that, but you still want to make some money? This is another way where I use this site in order to do reverse engineering and actually go ahead and apply for certain opportunities, even if they are not hiring, so to speak. So what I would do is I will go to these companies cross town, Google them, and then give them my resume. See if I can apply on their website and say, hey, do you have any opportunities in my area? Then there's another company. This one in whatever his name is, you should be hitting this name up because they just want a contract up. They just want a contract. Then we have another one, Quest, 57,000. Quest again, 87,000. You should be hitting up these companies to see if you can find work. Remember, Indeed, ZipRecruiter, those are just five of the websites that have opportunities. Now we're getting a little bit more intentional and looking for people who are already winning and see if we can get a contract as a subcontractor, not the prime, as a sub. That means every company that you see here, they're winning as a prime, but they need you and I in order to run this route. So before you can get to the point to hold the whole contract, you can come in as a sub. So let's go back to my slide. So you can see Crosstown, they've been winning. It didn't just start and stop last month. It's the month before. And if you go down the list on the site, you'll see that they've been winning for almost what 15 years, it seemed like. They've been in the game. So Crosstown, January 2nd, 107,000. December 7th, 17th, 729,000. December 5th, 240,000. December 1st, 203,000. So in the class today, I shared with you how you can make your $100,000 per year. I showed you how to make 100,000 per year. Now, what about you want to get out of the car and you want to go after these same contracts but get a bigger pot? Then this is where you should be. Crosstown, and it's not even 90 days. In 30 days, what I just showed you, they did 1.3 million. I'm over here trying to teach you how to make sure I get you to 100K per year, which is very doable with your car. But they're over here doing 1.3 million in 1 month, not a quarter, not a year, not 6 months. This is where you all should be doing. You all should be working on the side on your business. So even if you are making money with your car, because I started off like that, making money with my car, I did not know that I was going to get to this point, but I just started. Then I said, I don't want to be driving all the time. I said, I want to focus on getting business contracts in my business name. And if I have to hire people, I will do that. Especially because I didn't want to do no vans. I didn't want to do a box truck. I didn't want to drive them. And I dang sure didn't want to invest in them. So now with this way, you can focus on getting the contracts and have people who already have that van, that box truck, that commercial insurance, and then y'all can work together, but you're the prime, they're the sub. Excuse me. So, how do you get into these type of contracts? Well, you have to get your business contract ready. That is the first step. You can look at these contracts all day long. You can look at the solicitation, you can look at the bid, but until you get your business contract ready, that is when you are ready to start bidding. Remember when I asked everyone in the beginning of the class, do you have your LLC? This is why I asked. It's because I want to not just show you how to make some now money, but I want to show you how I've been able to make later money, money in the future. I don't expect you all to win a contract, a government contract or a private contract in the first 30 days. But I can show you how to get a contract with your car in the first 30 days. And during them 30 days, get your business contract ready. In the next 30 to 90 days, that is when you can get your government contract or your private contract. But you do have to start here. I tell everyone, all you need is one or two contracts per year. Excuse me, yeah, per year in order to get to 100K. 100K. And I showed you, even on the government side or even the private side, these companies are doing 100K a month, 100K in weeks. You have the opportunity to do this as well. So, isn't this obvious? This is the path to freedom. I don't care if you're starting with your car, if you're going straight into government contracts. This is how I was able to get out of my situation faster, and I was able to invest back into me, into more mentorship, more people who've already done this, and especially government contractor, because I didn't know anything about this. I had to make money, and the money I was made, I'm invested into my business, but I also invested into me. So let's recap. You now know the three-step system on how to turn your medical certifications into a profitable medical courier business or even a side business. You can start wherever you want. You now know the medical industry paying people's nurses' salary. If you did not know, the type of money that we're making is nurses' salary without having to go to school for several years. You now know how to start as a beginner, a medical courier lab delivery business and scale it into direct private government contracts. So I want to ask you all, was this web class worth your time? Was it worth your time? You've gotten a roadmap. Now, the question is, are you going to walk it alone? Are you going to be the next Kenyatta? Are you going to be the next to win over 100K in the next 12 months in contracts? You know, are you ready to take this business, beginner or advanced, and invest in yourself for the next 30 to 60 days? 30 to 60 days. Thank you so much, Precious. It says hands down. So give me a yes in the chat if you feel like you now have a clear strategy. Give me a yes in the chat for anyone that's now that's I changed that interested state of mind into a committed state of mind. Give me a yes in the chat if I delivered on my promise and I gave you the three-step formula that you need in order for you to get started tonight. Tonight. Give me a yes in the chat. If I have your permission to share with you what I was talking to you about getting into private and government contracting a little bit more. Give me a yes in the chat. How are we doing Facebook and YouTube? All right, I have some yeses. Ebony says yes. Willie says yes. Zoom says yes, greatly appreciated. I'm looking you up on YouTube and yes, awesome. Thank you, Precious. All right, so on February 16th through the 20th, I have what is called the Medical Money Challenge. It is 5 days with me. Each day, we unpack something different within the business. Day one, we're going to be talking about mindset, but mostly getting your business contract ready and how to find courier partners that you can partner with. That's day one. Day two is your branding. I'm going to show you and help you on and using my templates on how you can create your own courier website, your own LinkedIn, and your capability statement. If you're wondering, happy birthday, early birthday, Ada. If you are wondering what is a capability statement is like the resume, but for private and government contracting. You're not going to be able to take the resume that you currently have right now and say, hey, private or government contractor, this is my resume and I want a contract. No, it's similar, but you want to be able to learn how to set it up yourself. There's people out here that's charging people $500 to $5,000 for capability statements. I tell everyone, do not pay 1 cent. It's because it's very, very, very easy. I'm sharing with you that on day two. Day three, we're going to get into the meat and potatoes. This is how we're going to find, bid on local and federal government contracts. I'm not just speaking of courier, but also medical courier, but anything that is service based. Day four, that is dibs. This is where you're going to be learning how to do business with the government, but medical supplies. Remember Christina that I told you all that she did over 49 contracts in 3 months? This is the training that she took. She took the medical supply contracting portion and then she ran with it. She didn't want to do nothing with the driving with her car. She wanted to go straight medical supplies with the government. And you know what the greatest thing about it? You don't need a car. She does not use her own vehicle. She does not hire anyone with a vehicle. She's using third party delivery services like FedEx and UPS. This is why I tell everyone you could be right here in your home getting contracts and you do not have to leave. And then day 5, I'm very, very, very transparent, and I do believe each one teach one. So I'm going to share with you on day 5 on how you can monetize your courier knowledge and how I was able to do it. Do understand you do have to do the business. You do have to start. In day 5, I give you all, especially if you purchase the platinum ticket, I give you an editable medical courier ebook. If you do everything I told you in this class today and you start to get your results, then you can turn around and make digital money from that ebook. All you have to do is change the brand colors, change the name. I did everything for you. I give that to you. The reason being is because a lot of people don't understand how I was able to maximize my earnings. Now, remember I was telling you I was making 8K, 10K a month? That was not from digital. That was not from none of this. That was all from the business. Then when I incorporated my knowledge and I shared with people what I did, then I was doing an extra 5, sometimes 8K on top of my 8 to 10K a month in the business. So I want to share with you all, and I'm going to give you the tools and everything so you can be able to do it yourself, do the medical courier business, make money from it, and then turn around and sell your knowledge. It's because you're not sitting here saying what I think could happen. You're sitting there sharing your journey. I actually did this. I went to a class, I did a challenge, I implemented, and then boom. Now go buy my ebook. And the ebook is going to be all of us is going to be the same ebook because we're doing the same thing. I told you this is easy peasy. At the end of the day, you are documenting what it is that you did and put it in the book. And you can just sell it for $20, $27. You're not trying to break nobody over the head for it, but you are paying for what it is that you've done. But I made it easy for you. You can get it all on day 5. Also, I have daily sessions. So in 5 days, you'll be able to learn how to launch, land, and scale your medical courier and courier business, and you will have support from it. You also will have access to Q&A sessions after the 5 days. So each day, well, not each day, 3 of the 5 days, you'll be able to come in and ask questions, get more assistance. Because I promise you, I give out a lot of information and I go really deep because my goal is by after the 5th day, you are ready to start going. You can just go ahead and start bidding. You can start winning. You can do all of that thing, all of those things. It also comes with private Telegram community access. So you can, if you have questions throughout the challenge and it's not challenge time, you can get your questions answered. I have a homework workbook. So each and every day, I'm going to be dropping templates, lead lists, cheat sheets in order for you to be able to do this business 100% on your own. Because remember, I did not pay anyone to make my website. I did not pay anyone to make my logos. I didn't pay anyone to make my capability statement. So I want to share with you all how you can do it yourself. Now, if you say, "Hey, I don't have the time, but I got the money and I can do that," then go ahead. But I'm sharing with you how you can do this yourself 1000% without having to spend any money. Then I also have a new lead list that I've been working on. This has over 2,000 plus medical courier and courier partnering companies that you can reach out to. Now, this is on top of what you've already been doing. This is on top. This does not take the place. This just makes it a lot easier. So I give you leads for every single state that you are in. And then I also give you nationwide leads, and I also give you Oregon leads. If you didn't know, Oregon and yeah, organs is another opportunity within medical courier that you can get the bag with and get contracts with. There's so much more within here, but I do have some fast action bonuses. So when you join the 5 day challenge as a platinum ticket holder, you also get to join my bi-weekly coaching call. So after the challenge, when it's all said and done, then you will be having access to come to my biweekly coaching and Q&A calls. So like after you started to get your business contract ready and you're actually getting contracts, or excuse me, bidding on contracts and you need help with contracts, then you come to my bi-weekly coaching calls and get assistance. Again, you get that done for you ebook I was telling you about, and then you get lifetime access to the replays. Again, this is for platinum. If you ever done one of my challenges, you know it's a lot of information and it's really difficult to consume everything and without having to rewatch everything. You're going to want to rewatch. So I give you access to that. I give you all 5 days. It's a total of a $2,500 value within this class. And I do have 3 tickets. So the first ticket is the 297, and that comes with everything that we just discussed. So I have 37, 297, and 97. That depends on you and what it is that you need. If you're like, hey, I just want the class in itself and the sessions, that is the $37. But if you're like, hey, I want a little bit more. I want the homework workbook. I want to be able to ask questions. I want that lead list, and then that's 97. But if you're like, hey, I want it all. I want the ongoing mentorship, even after the challenge, month after month, then that is 297. So I have that broken down here as well. So when you join today, especially if you get the platinum, I also give you access to my school community right here. This is the Lab Academy 2.0. So in addition to the challenge, you also get access to the community where students ask questions, share their testimonials. Like we have students just won 3 days ago. Danisha won a contract. Latifa won a contract 7 days ago. Who else? I had a couple more people in here that just won contracts. Jason just won a contract. So this is the community for individuals that wants to start and grow their medical career or career business. So for anyone that wants to lock in their ticket, I'm going to put that in the chat right now. And remember, there is 3 tickets that you can purchase depending on what it is that or where it is that you are going to want to start at. And another thing that I added was I added access for you to be able to buy now, get access to everything now, but pay later. So you can use Afterpay, you can use Affirm, you can use Klarna as well. I made it very um, easy for you all to be able to get the information, learn it, implement it, make some money. So then by the time your first payment comes, you can sit there and not have to use your own money. It's the profit that you made from the information that you applied for this opportunity. Now, at this time, while everyone is grabbing their tickets, the I want to open up the floor for questions. At this time, I want to answer anyone's questions. I did see a couple of questions that I did not get to answer in the chat. Go ahead and put it in here now so we can make sure that everyone has a clear strategy on what needs to be done and how I can help them. Kina from YouTube says, I sent you an email a few weeks ago. Can you resend it for me, please, again? I am behind on my emails. It's been a lot of people. Come on now. That's sending me messages and emails, and I have not been able to respond to everyone. Give me 1 second. I'm over here trying to. There it goes. Let me go here. Excuse me. Okay, let's go back into the chat. Keisha says, I applied for freight. It's not allowing me to correctly identify my vehicle. I suggest that you hit up their support. A lot of times the apps, I can't do anything with the apps. Only thing I can direct you to is hit up that email, hit up the support. I think maybe I missed something. How do folks do this in the evening after day job? Samantha says. You still have to do the same exact thing, which is apply, apply, apply. Whether you want to work daytimes, night times, overnight, you still have to apply. The name of the game is finding as many different opportunities and then getting hired and then structuring them around what your schedule is currently is. Now, I will suggest that if you are only trying to go after evening opportunities, then the apps might work best so you can just turn them on. But I would say still go on the top websites that I suggest, the Indeed, ZipRecruiter, CLDA, Google, and the CB Driver for opportunities, is because I have seen and I've been given opportunities that were morning, afternoon, swing, and overnight. I only took the day and the morning type because at one point it was just me before my husband came on and started driving with me. And I didn't want to be out late at night. I didn't want to be with these bags transporting. And that's just something I didn't want to do. So therefore, I did not take the swing because I got a couple of swing shifts. They were like from 4 to 11 o'clock. And that was just me. So just know that, don't think that opportunities is only one area. You're just going to have to apply, apply, apply. And then once you reach out to these companies and they offer you a position, tell them what it is that you actually want. Don't be afraid. That is how I found almost every single one of my on demand contracts. It was because I did not just say, okay, thank you. All right, I accept. No, no, I was doing this. I was yipping and yapping. Um, for the FPDS site, do you let them know you've seen them, that you've recently been awarded a contract and you want to help to fulfill it, or just offer them to help to fulfill it? Yeah, my Tika, I don't really tell them like, hey, I just seen you want a big old contract. Help a sister out, hire me. No, I don't. I always position it as a need. Hey, my name is such and such, and this is my company. This is the vehicle that I have. This is the area that I work in, and if you ever need any assistance, whether it's a backup vendor, whether you need me part-time or emergencies, hey, I'm your person. That's how I usually position it, especially saying that I'm a backup vendor, a backup, because a lot of times we're trying to go ahead and get the whole contract, and we could just position ourselves as the help, the need. I'm here to help you in case your full-time contractor that you have can't make it, or called off. You never know what happens, but I like to make sure that I'm always positioned as a backup vendor. If I want to learn more of the medical supply part of the business, not so much the courier, um, then I still suggest that you should take the 5 day challenge. So I used to do the 5 day challenge when it was just medical courier only. But what I did is I combined medical courier plus medical supplies. And then if you're like, hey, I want to get started now, when you purchase a platinum ticket, you get access to this lab academy right here. And one of the courses is the medical supply business, which is right here. So if you're like, hey, I want to get started today, and you join, then you can get started right now. But I do suggest that you take the challenge and you come to the challenge, is because there are things that we cover that is medical courier, and then some stuff is both medical courier and medical supplies. You will get benefit from both sides of the business. All it is just slightly different. With the medical courier, you are not bidding using proposals. With the medical supplies, you're bidding on an actual platform, that a system, and it's one way, the same way, and you don't have to create proposals at all. Service side, you do. Product and supply side, you don't. Um, And also, if you're like, for anyone that's in here that's like, oh my goodness, I'm not going to be able to apply for everything throughout the month. Because again, in order for you to win government contracts, you should be bidding, or even private contracts, you should be bidding anywhere from 30 to maybe 40 contracts a month. Remember, I was telling you about with your car is 25 to 50 a day. But for your business, it should be 30 to 40 a month. And I include some assistance in here for you all, which is for you to be able to hire your own virtual assistant. That is so important. Now, mind you, I understand I don't like to spend a lot of money before I start making it. I teach you all how to get your virtual assistants from the Philippines. I use a website called Online Jobs PH, and and it's everybody's from the Philippines, and you can pay them anywhere from $4, $5, $6, $7, $8 an hour. I pay my VA $7 an hour. My VA, I have trained her to not just do government contracting side, but everything else in my business. She has so many different hats that she wears. But right now, for individuals that might be interested, you can hire you a virtual assistant part-time or full-time in order for you to excuse me, in order for them to learn how to bid on your contracts on your behalf. So what she does everything but bidding. She finds the contract, she finds the product if I need a product. She finds any subcontractors that I may need. She'll find phone numbers I may need. She set everything up so all I got to do for the most part is either bid or I have to at least call, let's say, the manufacturer, supplier, distributor, because she doesn't talk to anyone over the phone. The most she does is email, and pretty much it's just copy and paste on what I tell her to do. But a virtual assistant can help you. Like, for example, I have within the Lab Academy 2.0, I have something called the leaderboards. And the leaderboards give you access to new things that's not inside the classroom. And it's for free. You don't have to pay anything extra. So when you move up each level, you unlock certain things. So on level 6, you unlock my done for you medical supply bundle. So for anyone that wants to just do medical supplies or whatnot, I have my bundle here. And what the bundle does, if I go right here, it gives you leads already. Leads already. Now this is an old list. I haven't updated the new list for 2026, but this is what she does. She finds the contract for me. It's right here. Like all of this is a name like laboratory markers, wipers, stethoscopes, loop clamps. Like these are all the contracts right here, and they're clickable and go straight to the site, which is Dibs. If it's available, it'll be here. If it's not, it'll say no record. That means it's already been won. But the greatest thing about it is that she helps me, is that she finds where the product is. So when you're talking about medical supplies, think about drop shipping. Think about drop shipping. Government contracting is kind of like, for the most part, drop shipping. So you got to find the product. If your end customer is the government, you got to know where to find these antennas, this O-ring, this warming blanket. Who is the manufacturer, supplier, or distributor? Well, that's what she does. She go ahead and find the contract. She creates this whole spreadsheet, and then she gives me 2 to 3, sometimes 5, no, excuse me, 4 website links for the product. She makes my job so much easier. So now I'm not just looking for the contract, looking for the website, and now reaching out to get a quote, and then now bidding. Only thing I do is, at the very least, is I'm going to reach out to a quote, excuse me, a manufacturer to get the quote, and then I'm a bid. Sometimes if she is able to communicate with them via email, then I don't even have to email them. I don't have to call them. Only thing I'm doing is taking the information from the email, which is the quotes, and actually bidding. But this is something that I have given the community just extra for you to be just so you don't have to feel like, oh, I just have these courses and I have to do it all myself. You have an opportunity to where I do it for you, and that is what this is. And each level, something unlocks different within the program that is very beneficial, so you can be able to win faster. Hi, I signed up for your starter kit but still haven't received it. Support. Is that the email that was used? I don't have that up streetology, but please send me an email right now at info@labgroupinc, and I will send it to you from the email that you sent me. Okay, next question. Haha, got it. Love that and thank you. All right, you're welcome. Okay, Charlene has a lot of questions and I love it. All right, question number one. If we get the Lab 2.0, does it have, hold on, it's cutting off. Hold on, let me get my screen bigger. Okay, you said if we get the Lab 2.0, does it have in there how to do the medical supply from home? Yes, Charlene. The Lab 2.0 does come with that, and that is this right here. And remember, if you get the Lab 2.0 or get the challenge ticket, it comes the platinum ticket, it comes with the Lab 2.0. I've been working to getting into a rental to start driving. I'm almost there. You explain how to insure a rental. Do I get the rental first? Let them know I'll insure them later, then call the Geico. Okay, got you, got you, got you. All right, so let's talk about the rental car and how I was able to get my rental car. Now, there is companies that will allow you to go get a rental car and then go straight and use that rental car and they don't care. That is not what I did. That's not what I did. What I did was I applied with the vehicle that I already had. So me and my husband shared, it was like a 2022 Ford, something like that. We don't have it no more. But when we did, we shared that car. That's the vehicle that I used to apply for every position that I had. Every position that I had. Then once I applied, and then once I got hired on, this is what I told them. I was like, hey, I do have a car, which is the car that you approved me for. But I share that car and I don't want to put a lot of mileage on that car. Is it okay if I use a rental? I was very transparent. I did this with every single company I worked for. Believe it or not, every single company said, yeah, it's fine. The only thing you need to make sure you do is have insurance on that rental car. So I said, all right, bet. Now I did not want to go through the rental car company, which was Hertz. I didn't want to go through them and use the insurance that they had every single day because I was just going to take even more profit out of my pocket. So what I did was I said I was going to find a insurance company that I was already getting full coverage for that would be able to cross over and secure all the days I may have for that rental. So, for example, let's say I get a rental and the rental is $25 a day. Instead of paying an additional $25 a day for their insurance, I was able to use Geico. It's because I had already read and did my research and found out that Geico will let you use their insurance for a car rental as long as it's within 30 days. After 30 days, so on the 31st day, if you get in a car accident, that's 100%, 1000% on you, not on Geico. Geico is not going to cover you. So what I did was once I got hired with the company, once I knew my schedule and I knew I had to be at there 8 a.m., let's say Monday. No, let's say Tuesday. Because it has to be, yeah, you have to rent it on certain days. So how I get the best price is that I was renting anywhere from Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday usually got the best price, but don't get it twisted. Sometimes Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays was a little bit more expensive, and I had to go with a Friday. So you need to play around on your booking days. Sit there and do it, but do it for the full 7 days. So if I'm going to get the car on a Tuesday, then I'm going to reserve it for Tuesday to Tuesday. Excuse me, 1 week. I'm not gonna do 3 days. I'm not gonna do 4 days because that's when you're gonna be like, oh my gosh, this is too expensive. No, the full 7 days will get you the best price. Then on the seventh day, when it comes time for me to return it, I usually just call them up and say, hey, can I extend for another 7 days? When I ask for an extend for another 7 days, they're going to take whatever I paid for that previous week and then they're going to apply it over there. So that means if I got the rental for $150 last week, I'm going to get it again for $150. Then when another 7 days roll past, I'm going to say, hey, can you extend it for another 7 days? They'll do another 150 again for the third week. On the fourth week, that is when I do not on that fourth week, let's just say it's a Tuesday. So the fourth Tuesday, I'm not going to extend it again. I'm actually going to return it, but I've already booked another reservation for that day. Because why? Because Geico is not going to cover me for the 31st day. If I get into a car accident, anything, they're going to be like, nope, it's not covered, and I'm now paying out of pocket. So that's how I was able to rent. And I only went through Hertz. I didn't go through Enterprise. I didn't go through Budget. They were all too expensive. Hertz was the best way. Another thing that you want to use when you're looking for rental cars, Don't go to your popping area. Find a Hertz dealership, a Hertz rental car that has opportunities that is like maybe a little further out, like has cars a little further out. Like for me, for example, I'm in the Riverside area. I do not go to Riverside to go get to go get a car from Hertz. I don't go to Ontario. Now, if you know Ontario, it's money out there. It's rich out there. Them cars be so expensive out there. I don't even look in Ontario way. So what I do is I go find the Hertz that's on the outskirts. I'm gonna go to Moreno Valley. I'm gonna go to Menifee. If you know the area, you know. This is not popping like that. Maybe Menifee is a little popping, but I'm not going to go to like the just like the real popular areas in order to get the rental car because the prices are different. Prices are different from Ontario versus Moreno Valley. And so that is how I was able to get my cars really cheap and affordable. And also if you are a Amex American Express card holder, add that to your Hertz profile and you'll get bumped up to gold, and then you can actually get even better pricing. So I was up there getting cars at sometimes $130, $140 a week. A week. It was plenty of times that I was like, it's better for me to just rent cars than me actually having a car myself, because I was getting them at such a great price. And then every month I switch out a car. Every month I switch out a car. So I hope that answered your question, Charlene. Laura says, what is the cost for the 5 day challenge? The 5 day challenge has 3 tickets. It has it has 37 for general admission, and the general admission just comes with the challenge in itself, 5 full days of the challenge, and then you do get access into the Telegram group. That's 37. 97, it comes with everything from the 37, but then you also get the homework workbook. You also get the lead list. You'll also be able to come in 3 out of the 5 days in the free class session. You actually get to come in 3 additional days to be able to ask me questions, get help, get assistance, or whatnot. And then the 297, which is this middle one right here, it comes with everything from the 37 and 97, but then it also comes with that Lab Academy 2.0, what I was talking about here. It comes with this. It also comes with lifetime access to the 5 day challenge. It also comes with that Courier ebook for you to be able to edit and start selling your digital knowledge as well. And then it also comes with bi-weekly coaching calls after the challenge. You'll be able to come in as a group. It's not one-on-one, it is a group, but you'll be able to come in ongoing as long as the Lab Academy 2.0 is active. You'll be able to come in and get assistance. So it's 3 tickets. I do have it to where you're able to use Klarna Afterpay, Affirm to be able to secure your ticket. And then remember, everyone who purchased the 297 ticket will get access to the Lab Academy today. So if you're like, hey, I want to get started today, I don't want to wait to the challenge, which is February 16th to the 20th, you can get started right now and start right here, the medical supply. And remember, we didn't go over this, but there's a lot of stuff within the Lab Academy 2.0 that you can benefit from. Of course, the business foundation, so you can be able to get your business contract ready, but then branding. Also, it teaches you how to, right now, get your resume up to date, website, LinkedIn page, and capability statement. For anyone that needs help with their personal credit or even funding, I have this here for hacks or whatnot. You want to do this simultaneously, even if you have not won a contract, is because when it comes time for you all to get, let's say you want to get a van, you get a box truck, you need to have your credit together. Let's just say you want to go the medical supply route down here, then you need to have money so you can be able to buy that inventory, whether it's medical supplies or other type of supplies. You need to make sure that you have the funding, especially once you start to win. It also has a mini course of medical courier training as well. assistance on how to apply for grants. And then I also included other businesses that I have invested in, whether it was the vending, Faceless IG, mobile notary, and then I have some coming soon, which is DNA testing. I do believe that we all should be adding different items or just say different services within our business that can grow. So a lot of this class was just talking about medical courier or maybe medical supplies. But I've added DNA testing. I've added first aid training as well, and that could be done at our event space or I can go to you. I've added fingerprinting. You can also add drug testing. These are things that you can add to your business in order to maximize. So I'm not focusing on medical courier only anymore. I'm doing DNA testing, and also I went back and renewed my phlebotomy license because I am a phlebotomist. I have went through the training several years ago. So when prenatal DNA testers come in and want me to test for mom, dad, and then the unborn baby, I'm able to draw using my phlebotomy license. I'm able to draw from the mom's arm, and that's how I'm going to be able to test mom, child to see if the potential dad is the dad. These are things that I have added to my business. I don't want to overwhelm you all. We all are starting from step one, which is medical courier, but I want to share with you all the opportunities and what you can grow to this business. You don't even have to stay at medical courier. You can sit there and go into different avenues within medical because I believe medical is like that business, that is something that I believe that can withstand any other type of pandemic or recession. And let's just say the world ends tomorrow. I do believe that medical courier will be one of the last businesses or the last things that will fail. So I want to make sure that I'm always making money because like the pandemic, I've seen how that hurt a lot of people. I wasn't affected a whole bunch, just slightly, but I was able to see opportunity in there. And when I seen the opportunity, I was like, this can't happen again. So I only want to invest in businesses that there is a need. Okay, so let me go ahead and finish answering questions. Um, did you cover business formation and LLC info? We do cover it in the challenge, but as a bonus, I want to give you all something just for staying and rocking with me to the end of the class. So inside the Lab Academy, I have this, but I'm going to give this all to you all right now, and it's just a checklist. The checklist, here, I'm going to put this in the chat. Give me one second. Get contract ready checklist. All right, so I just put it in the chat. In this checklist, so the goal is for you to do everything I told you to do in the free class today. Once you're done, it's because you're not going to be looking for contracts for your car all day long. No. You're going to be doing that for about an hour a day. Once you're done with that, you all should be working on getting your business contract ready. Why? Is because that can take anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks. And if you start now, once you start to make money with your car and you seeing like, oh, okay, I think I like this, I can do this, but you're already having your business working in the background so you can go ahead and get private and government contracts. So the first things first, on this checklist is that you need to choose your business name and your domain name. I have it where you do that first. Now, mind you, if you already have this, disregard. But even if you do have it, make sure that you got everything on this list that we're about to go over. So you need to make sure that your name is available on your domain, which is your www.name. That means like if it is LB Courier Service, that's the name of your business, and you need a domain that says www. LB Courier Services. So you want to do that in the beginning is because I did it later and I wind up having to start back at one because I had already made my business cards, my logo, I made flyers, and then it was like my domain name was not available because they were going to charge like thousands of dollars for it. And if your domain name is not free 99, excuse me, 12 or $14, do not spend thousands of dollars. You need to start over. This is why I have you doing it in the beginning. So once you figure out what your name is, then you're going to go to this site and see if it's available. Let's just say if it's LB Courier Service. Let's just say that. It's just an example. I'm going to go in here and I'm going to see if it's available. Right now, lbcourierservice.com is here. Now, mind you, I don't know why it's only $5. It's usually $14. So there must be running a sale. Excuse me, mind you, this is for the whole year. Whole year. So $5 right now to go get your domain name. If you do not see .com, you got to start over. Because I don't want you using .net, .org, um, dash, courier, dash. No. Don't use .live, .studio, .me, .shop. No, it should be .com. .com. So that's the first thing that you do, which is number one. The next is you're going to register your entity. So that means if it's an LLC or if it's an S corp, you're going to start here at your city website. Then you're going to get a free EIN number. You're going to go to irs.gov and get your EIN number. The next thing is you're going to get your Dun and Bradstreet number. It is not required in order to get government contracts, but in the challenge, we're going to be talking about postal contracts. It is required to have a DUNS number for the postal contract. So get your DUNS number. And then on top of that, when we're building business credit and all that stuff, you need your DUNS number. The only thing I want you to make sure that you do not do when it comes time for you to get your DUNS number is do not pay $299 for an expedited DUNS number. It is free 99. Do not let them trick you and make you feel like you're going to get it expedited when it only take about a day or a week without it getting expedited. The next thing is you want to record what is your NAICS code. You're going to click here. I have clickable links in this checklist. And let's just say it's medical couriers. Medical courier, press enter. And this is your NAICS code, 492110. If you have another code that you want to use, then you put the search in here. Let's say it's medical supplies. Put it in here and then write down your NAICS code. And then as a pause, let me just take this break real quick and say that I want you to be creating a working document like this. So we all have Gmail, so that means you have a drive, free 99, unless you just start filling up your drive, then they're going to charge you. But right now, you can go in here and create a document. Where is it? I think I got to go to the drive and create a document just like this. Create a folder, then you create a document. Everything that you're going to be collecting with your business, you're going to be inputting it into this document. This is going to be very important when it comes time for you to register your business for contracts, whether it's for your city, your state, sam.gov, DIBS, the post office. You're going to be using this document often, and you want to have all your information in one spot. Trust me, you don't want to be trying to figure out what's my EIN number, where is my um statement of facts. This is stuff that you're going to get from your LLC or your S corp. You want everything in one spot. It's really help your organization, trust me. Now let's go back to this list. The next thing is 6A. You need to make sure that you have a physical address. They do not allow you to have a virtual or a PO box. So anyone that's like, oh, I have a Regis account and I'm just going to use them because they said it's a physical address, and then it's not. The only way that you know if it's a physical address is if you can get a leasing agreement. So with a physical business address, we can either go the route of your home address, and there's pros and cons to that. Or you can go ahead and invest into a small suite or something on the boulevard where you can get mail at and you get a rental agreement. Because when it comes time for you to register for sites like sam.gov, a lot of times, if they can't verify you, if you have a physical address, they'll do that by saying, give me a leasing agreement. I don't suggest that you do that, especially if you haven't not started to make money. So use your home address. Once you start to get contracts, you can always invest into your business, into an actual location, a physical location, and update all your business information to reflect that address. Now, if you're like, hey, I don't mind spending a little money for an actual physical address on the boulevard, you can go that route as well. Again, it's pros and cons. One of the cons is you're going to have to spend the bag on the suite every single month. Just putting it out there. Me personally, if I had to redo it again and I did not have our event studio, then I would have just used my home address, start to make money from contracts, and then invest in a location later. Next is you need a business phone number and a business email address. That means you are not going to be using your cell phone unless you use like third parties like this, phone.com or Vonage. Your business email, you're not going to be using at gmail.com. This is why you do the first thing in the beginning, which is getting your domain name. Once your domain name, that's the root of your email address. So let's just say your domain name is LB Courier Service. Your email can be info at lbcourierservices.com, admin at lbcourierservice.com, team at lbcourierservice.com. You're only going to mess with that first part, but your at is going to be your domain name. We want professionalism. If we want these businesses to take us as actual legit businesses, then you need to show up as a legit business. And this stuff that I'm telling you does not require a lot. Then the next question, 7 and 8, these are just questions that you should be asking yourself. There's no right or wrong answer. Remember, if you do not have any annual revenue and you're just getting started, it is zero. It is zero. Number of employees, established date, 51%, 49% owned. You answer all that and put that on your working document. Next, you're going to get your business bank account. Now, I use Navy Federal. I've done Wells Fargo, Bank of America, and all that. But you can get those in addition to if you want them. But I suggest at least one credit union. I like Navy Federal, but there's a ton of other credit unions out there. But I was able to do a lot with my credit union. I was able to get a car. I was able to build business credit. I even did the whole pledge loan when I was building my own personal credit. The pledge loan worked really well. It was able to raise my credit, my points around like 60 points. Just with the pledge loan, I got it. I paid back 90%, and then within the next month, I was able to see an increase in my credit. I got several cards with Navy Federal, and mind you, I'm speaking of someone who, when I first started out, I didn't have good credit. I was over here trying to clean up things that I had messed up years ago, and Navy Federal or just a credit union actually took better more of a chance on me than any other, non-credit union or bank or loan. And I'm still building with them even to this day. So I do see growth with them. So you decide what you want to use, but I suggest Navy Federal. Next is number 10. This is optional because it does depend on which avenue and what direction you're going to go in the business. So I do put this here. If you do have certifications, let's just say you want to do the whole woman owned, minority owned, what else? There's a couple other certifications you can get. If you do already have that or in the works, then that's when you will add this here. Once you've done 1 through 9 or 1 through 10, you then need to register your business for sam.gov. Now, mind you, whether you are joining my challenge or not, but I'm going to speak to people who are joining my challenge. I really want you to start on this list right now. So when day one of my challenge come through 5, you can actually do everything that I'm going to share with you and like live versus go do the first part, which is getting your business contract ready. Like when we get into day 3, when it's come time to actually bid on sam.gov or state site contracts, I want us to actively do that. Like in class, we're going to be doing live bids. So that means you bid on that actively, not just watch it and do what I said later. No, I really want you to be able to do everything within the challenge as I'm doing it live. So you want to register your business for sam.gov. Once you register your business for sam.gov, you're going to have a waiting period for about 1 or 2 weeks. You're waiting on a cage code and a UEI number. Your UEI number going to come first, then your cage code. The challenge begins February 16th through the 20th. So not tomorrow, but the following Monday. So after you're done getting your cage code and your UEI number, that is only then you can register for dibs. Now, let me make this very clear. When you are going at the contracts on sam.gov, they got service-based contracts and they have product-based contracts. That means they got medical courier and all the other services. And then they also have medical supplies and all the other products out there. With dibs, it is only product. It's only product. Only medical supplies and every other product that they can that you can think of that's going to be on there. So when you're registering on SAM and you are waiting for dibs, you can find both product and services on SAM. But if you just want a larger pool of 1000% product, that is where dibs come in at. Now, mind you, this is going to take you 1 or 2 weeks. While you're waiting for Sam to give you your cage and UEI number, you're going to skip 12 because you cannot do 12 because 11 is a prerequisite for 12. You got to have your cage code just to start to register for dibs. They don't ask for nothing else. Day one is what's your cage code in order to register. So while you are waiting for your cage and your UEI, you're going to register for your state. So there's federal, SAM, DIBS, Fed Connect, Unison Marketplace. These are federal. Then under federal, then you have your that comes under like local. So you have your state, your county, and then your city type of contracts. That is this right here, right here. So why do I want you to register for at least SAM and your state, especially before the challenge? Well, the reason being is so when we go ahead and go on these sites and I'm showing you contracts, you can actually bid on them live. My goal is for not to just show you how to bid on my challenge week. We're actually bidding on actual contracts that I unpack and dissect. And so you can put it all together and actually submit the proposal if we do proposals as well as the supply part because remember on the service side you do not need, you need a proposal. But on the product side, you don't need any proposals. For some people, they say products are easier than services. But to me, it just depends on the person. I like both. Products are one and done. That means you got to get a product and win a contract all the time to be making money. But then services, especially when we're talking about medical courier, or even just other service-based business contracts, those can be anywhere from 1 year to 5 years. That means once you win a contract, let's say it's medical courier, you'll have that contract for as most as 5 years versus the medical supplies, it's one and done. Still great money, but I like both. I like both. But if you're just trying to start off, you want to start off with one first, and then you can scale and go about that a little bit later. Now, one last thing I want to talk about before we move on is that when you register for your state, this is how you find contracts in your state. So I don't care what state we're talking about, you're going to put the word your state, then you're going to put bids behind it. So we're going to be talking about contracts in Texas, it's going to be Texas bids. Contracts in Georgia is going to be Georgia bids. Florida, Florida bids. California, California bids. So let me show you. California, let's do bids. I already know that this is the correct site. What we're looking for is the procurement site, the solicitation site. These are keywords. Come on. All right, so when you go here, the first thing it's going to tell you right here is log in and register. That's what you all should be doing. From this sheet, when I tell you to register for your state or states or county, you're going to go right here and register. Again, every single site, state site, city, and county are going to be slightly different. There's no congruency on none of these sites. Only congruency is like on dibs. It's the same way to bid all the time. The reason why I'm telling you to bid for a state first is because the state has usually the most opportunity versus the city and the county. So my state of California should be about 400. Yep, just under 400 contracts right now for the state of California. Now you can go in here and go and let's just say you look up Los Angeles. So Los Angeles is a city and it's a county. But right now we're going to say Los Angeles bids. Right now, the opportunities is probably not that many for the city. And I have to look for it. I don't be on this site a lot. So let's do Los Angeles County. I'm usually on that side a little bit more so I can know how to navigate it. So when I go to the Los Angeles County, mind you, this is just county bids for the county of Los Angeles. Again, you go ahead and register, but I just want to show you the opportunities. For the county, it's going to be 252. And the only reason why it's a lot for the county, because hey, it's Los Angeles. For a smaller county, it's not going to be that much. And then the same thing for the cities. You could put the city, then the word bids behind it. And that's how you're going to find the contracts. Now remember, contracts are on the city, the county, SAM, they don't go on the other sites. If you can find a contract or when you find a contract on SAM, it's only going to be on SAM. You're not going to find the same contract on your city or your county, and vice versa. If you find a county contract, it's not going to be on your city, on your state, and it's not going to be on SAM. This is why I tell you there's a huge amount of contracts that's out there at different levels. And mind you, this is not just one and done. They are continuously uploading and needing contracts to be fulfilled. If you think of it like this, the government and these other entities that fall under like local, they cannot go out here and say, hey, I need this fulfilled. I need to go buy this themselves. They have to go through small businesses like you and I. So there's always going to be a need. And even in some of these, like federal contracts, there's a percentage that go to small businesses like you and I that can't go to the bigger entities or whatnot. So know that if you feel like I'm not making enough on my car, business is not as what I want it to be, go to the business side. Go over here is because there's opportunity after opportunity. And then the greatest thing about it, I want to share this with you. If we look at the FPDS, and let's just say we put in medical courier again. And then again, when we're on here, we got to go to the date sign to the right hand side to see what everything is from today's date on back. Let's say I go to, let's see if Crosstown going to do it. Let's just open it. Let's see. And then let me close some of this stuff out because it's too much on my screen. All right. So when I open this right here, I open this one right here from January 27th. What it tells us that I'm most important about, because it tells us everything, who is, when did this contract get signed? When is it supposed to end? What else? The description. What I'm over here looking at is this number of offers. So either here, it'll be here or here. But number of offers, that means only one company, probably just them, went after this contract. This is why I tell you is that if you may feel like it's saturated on the side where you're trying to partner with companies and drive as an independent contractor, I'm not saying that you can't find a contract. Yes, you can find a contract, most definitely. But if you go over here on the business side, you not only get better opportunity that pays more, but it's less competition. Like, let's do another one. Let's look at this one right here. This company, it was five people. That means if you showed up, you had a 20% chance of winning just off of just bidding. So this is why I tell everyone your stepping stone should be with driving, not here. We all should be here. Getting private, getting government contracts. Like here, this one right here, they only had three. Three. Bomb, right? Okay, so this is the checklist. I put it in the chat for you all. You welcome, you can welcome. I currently have a mobile phlebotomy business. That's awesome, Streetology. That is really, really dope. Um, you can add this business to here. What if you apply for a grant and you don't qualify? What would be an alternative? If you don't qualify for a grant, move on. Move on and find another grant. It's the same thing that I would do with contracts. Back in the day, now mind you, I started during the pandemic. And during the pandemic, they wanted everybody to get the jab, to get the vaccine, get the vaccine. I'm one of the ones that said, no, I'm not getting the vaccine. I had enough faith in God that I was like, I'm going to find a contract. I'm going to find these routes that I do not have to get poked or jabbed in order to make money. And so were there opportunities that was like, oh no, you have to have your vaccine? I was like, okay, skip. And I just kept applying. I skipped all of them that was not for me, and I focused on the ones that's for me. And it's no different for anything else. Like if you're like, hey, this grant is I can't qualify. Well, you can't change the qualifications, especially if it's a deadline. I would just say work towards it so when it comes back again, you can be able to apply. But I will move on. I do not care about stuff that is not that I don't qualify. I just move on. It's a numbers game. It is a numbers game. My goal is to apply for as many as I can that I qualify for. And I'm only focusing on that. And I like to use the vaccine is because there was supposed to be a lot of companies out there that was firing people and you had to have the vaccine. And I'm like, I'm here to tell you, I was landing contracts. No vaccine needed. Um, my Tika said, can I just join the Lab Academy 2.0? Yes, you can. The Lab Academy 2.0 is 297 for the year. 297 for the year. So yes, technically yes you can. Just know that if you just join the Lab Academy 297, you do get a ticket to the challenge. That is something that I'm giving you all. Mind you, I don't do these challenges every single month. I usually do challenges 3 to 4 times a year. So if you don't take advantage, it'll be another 3 or 4 months before I do another challenge. But you get it for free once you get the Lab Academy. Um, Charlene says, however, you get the rental first and let them know you insure the vehicle yourself. No, I do not get the rental first. I get the contract first. So remember, I'm not just trying to focus on one contract. I'm trying to get as many contracts as I can is because the goal is for me to make sure that when I get this rental for the full 7 days, I'm working at least 4 to 5, sometimes 6 days of that week. Because that will make sense for you to get the rental car. So I like to get the contracts first, get as many as I can, and then tell them about, hey, I'm going to get a rental car. Is it cool? Then I get the rental car. I do not get the rental car if I do not have a contract ready for me to go in the next day or two. I am not doing that. I do not spend money until I know that right behind there, I'm getting ready to make some money. Any other questions? I gave you the checklist. We have the dates. Congratulations, everyone who got into the challenge. Please look out for an email. I'm leaving Facebook. I'm sorry. Please look for an email from me. Please also, if you have any questions, go to info@labgroupinc and send me an email. If you have already sent me an email and I have not answered, send it to me again, please. It's not that I'm ignoring you, it's because I have a lot. I have a lot of emails to go through, and I do not use my VA to sift through my emails. It's me. It is moi. Samantha says, do you offer one-on-one coaching later? I'm in the beginning of this webinar. You referenced you invested in mentorship. So Samantha, yes, I do. It's if it's not one-on-one, it's just a small group of individuals of about 5 to 7. So normally when I do one-on-one or very small knit group coaching, I like to keep it small, especially if you decide to get the coaching that is done with you and done for you. So I do have a mentorship where, and you'll know more about this at the end of the challenge. I usually open this mentorship up at the end of my challenges, my 5 day challenges, but you'll be able to work with me and work on the business and learn how to bid and do all that while I'm actively bidding on your behalf. But that is more on that next, not week, but the week after that. Would you assist us with training our VAs when we are ready? So Samantha, I do have something that I'm putting together. I have two things, maybe three ways. So I can either train the VA for you on your behalf, and then you just pay me a small fee. That means I'll find the VA, I'll train the VA, and then you can just go have that VA start working for you. Or another way is You go find the VA. You take the information that I'm going to give you all because I am updating the VA assistants here. You can take that information and invite your VA into the community. And let's just say your VA and you want them to learn everything I'm going to share with you in a 5 day challenge. Then I suggest that VA watches the 5 day challenge. How I train my VA how I would train you all on how to get contracts. So she had to take my 5 day challenge. Then she had to do some one-on-one mentorship that I had on the side, just me and her. Then she had a Q&A session. Then she went through some more stuff that was in here and she had to fully learn everything. That's a part of training. Then after I train them, then I'm going to go in there with actual steps on what you need to do to perform A, B, C, and D. A lot of people mess up with that because they do not have good communication on how they're going to communicate with their VA. And I do a lot of video communication. I don't just send an email or a text and say go do A, B, C, and D. No, I'm like this. Like when I'm with you all, that's how I train my VAs. So you can go that route to where they can learn while you're learning at the same time, and then you can train them. Or I'm gonna have a third option where is it that I find the VA, I train the VA, I pay the VA on your behalf. I do take a small cut from that. And then I also make sure that if there's any new information, any assistance that you may need, I am here. But that will not be ready until I think the next upcoming weeks because I'm still finalizing everything. But yes, I will assist you in training your VA. I would like to say I've gotten a lot better when I first started because I was firing VAs left and right. I was like, no, because they be trying to play games and it's nothing against them. It's just people in general. And then the other times I thought it was them and it was me. I was expecting them to know more than what I was actually giving them. They're brand new to my business. They don't know nothing about me. So I had to literally talk to them like they was 4 years old and they didn't know nothing about it. So a lot of times we think it's them and it's us. And so I really was doing some self-reflection and I was like, I need to make sure that I'm a better leader. I communicate better. And a part of that was making sure whenever I communicate, I always did these calls like this, whether it was Zoom or a Loom meeting, and then I would give one task at a time before I just pound a bunch of work on them. I did not want them to feel overwhelmed at all. Samantha says, so the next challenge is summer. Yeah, the next challenge will probably be around summer. That's usually when I do it around my birthday, which is July. But yeah, around that time. Yeah. If not July, maybe June. Hey, I said, sorry, I got busy with homework. Can we also get some of the recordings of this? So yes, everyone that if you go to Leela underscore Brown, because remember I'm Leela underscore Brown everywhere. You go to my YouTube channel, and then you go to live right here. You see live. Then you'll be able to rewatch this class right here. This is last week's class. But you'll be able to rewatch this later. You're so welcome. Streetology says, hi Leela, I ordered the starter kit, but I didn't get the downloads yet. Please, everyone who got in the starter kits, email me right now, info at Lab Group Inc. and say in the message, I did not get the starter kit download that I purchased, and I will reply to that immediately. Those take precedence over everyone else. So if I see a message that says missing downloads, I'm going to open that over any new comment. So just make sure that you put that in your message, in your subject and in your message. Thank you so much. I'm very impressed and a newfound optimism. Thank you so much, Samantha. You're welcome. How do you get a starter kit? Laura says. So if you go to what is it? My stand store. Here, I think it's in my link in bio on Instagram. Yeah, I'll put this in the chat. So just to give you a little bit of insight, I put it in the chat. The medical courier starter kit. The medical courier starter kit is basically to help you. It just gives you a little bit extra that this class that you took in because it's supposed to support this class, today's class. And so it has 3 ebooks and then 4 bonuses. Each ebook shows you how to get in whatever in particular part of the business that you want to get started. So the first one, ebook 1, is how to get private contracts in your business name. That means you want to get direct contracts with companies, medical courier, hospitals, or whatnot. Then ebook number 2 is how to get contracts with your car. So it goes a little bit more in depth of what we talked about today in the beginning of the class on how to get contracts with your car. Then ebook 3 is an ebook plus it's a video book sharing with you because I have videos on how to get started with the medical supply and government contracting. So all 3 ebooks give you 3 different areas of the business. Then I have a bonus. I have a lead list. I have an app list. I have a certification checklist. And then I have a field inspection agency directory. So I gave you a couple of them in class today, but I just give you the full one. This right here is 27 bucks right here. So it's 27 bucks. So if you're interested, I put my stand store in there. It's supposed to go in conjunction with this class today. So you can take the information that you learn and then go ahead and use some of the ebooks as well as the bonuses so you can be able to start to make some money in the next 30 days. Thank you so much. You did a great job at educating us. Thank you, Laura. Much appreciated. Any other questions? Any other questions? Big congrats to everyone who got in. Please check your email because I will send everything out as soon as we are done. Sorry, I just joined now. Is there any way to contact you? Yes, you can email me at info at Lab Group Inc. And we can talk about if you need to do a consultation call, we can discuss that as well. But email me info at Lab Group Inc. I hope everyone enjoyed the class today. I hope everyone now have a clear strategy on what it is that needs to be done. Even if you're not ready to get started with the business, please take action on everything that I shared with you. This is what I actually did. This is what students have done, and I know you can do it too, but you must stay committed. That means showing up every single day and applying every single day for these opportunities. If you want to contract with your car, with your vehicle, you need to be putting in the work, letting these companies know that, hey, I'm available and I have this vehicle. And you do that by applying. Go to these sites. I gave you a lot of information, so don't feel like you can't go back. Please go to the YouTube page, start it and stop it, and let's get it. Once you won your first contract, please email me. Let me know. Tell me all about it. And then also don't stop at that one contract. Please don't. Don't tell me, oh, I got a contract and it pays good or it pays bad. It does not matter. But keep going. We want to stack our contracts. That's how we maximize our earning potential by stacking. Anyways, if you have any questions, I put my email in the chat. And what's your YouTube page? It's same. Leela_Brown on everything. Leela_Brown right there. Boom. Thank you, everyone. Appreciate you, Helen. I just coming in and everyone else. And I will see the rest of you all who join, whether we are, oh, also for everyone who joined the Lab Academy 2.0, please know that I'm going to send an email to your inbox inviting you into the community. And we have calls still. So on the 10th, which is in a couple of days, we have a new call. We have another call. So I want you to use this call if you have any questions on getting your business contract ready because the following week on the 16th will be the 5-day challenge. Excuse me, if you when you join in here, if you need any information on the challenge, I will be updating you in the community tab, what you see right here. It'll be somewhere in here. You're welcome, Zoom user. Renata Lyons, you're so welcome. And I'll see everyone, whether it's in next week's class or the 5-day challenge. All right. Have a good rest of your weekend. Enjoy your Super Bowl if that's what you do. And I'll talk to everyone soon. All right. Peace.